Hi, welcome back to Novels Nook. If you're new here, my name is Victoria, and for today's video I will be doing a combo book review on book number 1 and book number 2 of The Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel series by Michael Scott. So, a little bit of history about this series. When I was in about, I want to say 10th grade, maybe 11th, I think it was 9th or 10th grade, we always have visiting authors come to our schools, and the visiting author for that year was Michael Scott. So me being a nerd, I was in book club, and we had special privileges where we would get to eat lunch with him, sit down and have him sign our books, and do all some fun stuff. We could ask him questions about the books. Well, I hadn't read a book by Michael Scott. I didn't even know who he was, except the name Michael Scott came from The Office, a wonderful TV show that I happen to binge watch on Netflix most times. But I did not know that Michael Scott was an author. I didn't know any of his books. So when he came, I remember I was thinking that, okay, he's gonna come and I'm not gonna have a book for him to sign for me. I'm not gonna know anything. So that's when I ordered The Alchemist. And the minute I saw it online, I was already intrigued because the cover is beautiful. This happens to be one of my favorite covers. The entire series has beautiful covers. They are absolutely enchanting. And when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. So I've said this in a favorites video. I've said it in many of my videos. This is one of my favorite books ever. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Michael Scott signed my book. It was a great time. So because of that encountering, you know, I met him, that happened, I was dedicated to finishing the series. So when he came to visit, I had read about half of The Alchemist, and I really liked it. I really liked the storyline. I liked kind of the premise of the plot and kind of all the characters that were introduced. I was very intrigued. That being said, I wanted to read the rest of the series, so it has taken me a very long time to read this series, but I'm very dedicated to reading it because I met him and I am going to finish this freaking book series. So I ended up finishing book number 2 like last month, maybe. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I'm currently reading some contemporaries right now because it's summer and I love reading contemporaries. They're my favorite thing to read of all time. But along with that, I am reading book number 3 of this series, The Sorceress, so I'm really excited. I literally am finishing this series. There is no ifs, ands, and buts. I am doing it. So for today, I wanted to do like a book combo review of my thoughts on it. So to start, The Alchemist was incredible. You get to meet Sophie and Josh, the twins. You get to see their lives, and it kind of, this is the start of it all. You get to see what they had. You get to reflect on their lives before this magic craziness happens. It's very good, and there's going to be no spoilers because I hate getting spoilers. Like, I love spoilers to an extent, but when you, like I've said in previous reviews, they're just not as good when you know something. But they find out that Nicholas Flamel, their Josh's boss, is actually an alchemist, and they get twisted up into this magical world, and they believe that the twins are destined to be the twins that are explained in the Codex and that are going to be just controlling the world, basically. They are very powerful twins that will be very powerful to maybe some dangerous people, and they believe that Sophie and Josh are those twins, and throughout the book you get to see that kind of tested. So their journey is to get the twins awakened, which will awaken their powers, will awaken their senses, and that's kind of the whole premise, I do believe, is that they need to get them awakened and they need to have their powers stable. So you get to follow that in the first book. You get to see them trying to get the twins awakened, and then they get mixed with the danger, and there's always a villain, and the villain in this book is wonderful. Dr. John Dee It's great, it's wonderful, and I love all of the Greek mythology throughout the book, and you get to learn so much about mythical creatures and the shadow realms, and just, it's very interesting, and I'm very intrigued with all of the elements that you get to see throughout all of the novels, you know, not just this one, but reading the second one, it introduced more mythical creatures that I had no idea about, and it's very interesting and definitely a fascinating topic to read about. So I recommend this series, obviously. The second book in the series is The Magician, and this kind of follows their journey with Sophie because Sophie has been awakened and Josh hasn't. So that kind of creates a barrier within Josh and Sophie's relationship. And throughout the whole novel, and definitely you could see a lot of that in The Alchemist, but definitely with this one, you see that dynamic relationship, and I love seeing that family kind of connection throughout books. I love that. I love the family patterns and the family connections that are in a lot of books, and especially sibling ones, because they're just so pure and they're just so raw. And in this you get to see their kind of close relationship and how they're so dependent on each other, and they've always done everything together, and you know, they're almost one being them. They're just so close, and you can tell they respect each other a lot. However, when Sophie is awakened, Josh completely feels, you know, he always thought they were on the same level, they always thought they were the same, and now he feels that she's completely somebody else. I think, you know, that's also, you know, with the magical elements, you also get to see something real, which I love and I find very fascinating, because, you know, we're not gonna see somebody outside, I don't know, doing some magic thing, but you are gonna see that relationship between, you know, siblings and how they interact with each other. So I find that one of the most special pieces throughout, you know, the series, especially, you know, like I said, with The Alchemist and definitely with The Magician. But now that she's awakened, they gotta get her powers in check, you know, they gotta get her to kind of develop those powers and have her specialize in, you know, fire elements and water and, you know, all of those kind of elemental magics, which is awesome. Reminds me of Avatar, like, totally. But so that's what they do throughout this book, and there's just so much stuff, and we introduced a new character, many new characters, however, and this is set in Paris, which I find completely fascinating. I love it. I love the, you know, traveling. They're literally running away, so they had to go to a new location, and this happens to be where Nicholas Flamel used to call home. So they go to Paris, and the thing that I love about these books is that you take on different perspectives. So one chapter will be the storyline of Perry Flamel, Nicholas's wife, and you'll see her side and what she's going through, because she has a completely different story. She has a completely different kind of obstacles she has to face. She has a completely different atmosphere. What she's going through is different from what Nicholas and the twins are going through, because they were separated. So you get to see her story, and you get to see the evil side of things. You get to see what Machiavelli and Dr. John Dee are doing, and you get to see what you know, the gang is doing, you know, Josh and Sophie, and you get to see that. So I love that you get to see, it's not just a main focus on what are Josh and Sophie doing and what is their plotline. You get to see the development of all the characters, which I find extremely fascinating, and I just love seeing that throughout the book, and it keeps me very, you know, interested, because, okay, I'm so sick of this plotline, but then the next chapter is something different, which just keeps you reading and just keeps me very involved with the book. So this book is set in Paris, and I love it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars instead of a 5 because, I don't know, I found Josh, okay, so because of Josh and Sophie's kind of disconnection in their relationship, I just felt like Josh was, I don't know, like I didn't know who I liked better. And it's not much who I liked better, but who I kind of sided with better, because they have one trusts somebody and the other one doesn't, and one feels that maybe this isn't the right plan, and I was just getting very frustrated because please agree on something, because you guys are both headed towards something that is much greater than anything you've ever experienced. Please agree on something, because you're taking this journey together whether you like it or not. And I was so frustrated with that character development, but I was very pleased with the ending. Actually, I love the ending. The ending of The Magician is what I've been waiting for. The middle end, I would say, got me very ticked off. I was just like gritting my teeth the entire time, but then the ending was very nice and very soothing. However, I realized that there are many, many more books to come, so like I'm nervous because my friends have read this, because you know, when we met the author, there was a lot of my friends were in book club, and I have gotten some spoilers for the rest of the series, so I'm not as excited about that, but I really did like this book. It was very good. I'm super excited to read the rest of them. You know, maybe I'll do a whole series wrap up, or maybe I'll just do kind of the rest of the series review, even if you guys want that. If you don't, if you think, Tori, you're obsessing over the series, you need to stop, it's too much, nobody reads this, okay, I'll get the hit and I'll back off. But I love this. I'm gonna continue reading them, and I loved the characters introduced, and I loved all the new elements. Everything that's throughout this book is absolutely fascinating and captures my attention, so I truly do recommend this series if you haven't read it already. I know it's pretty old, I mean, it's nowhere being new, but if you haven't read it, I think you guys should totally check it out if you're into that magical kind of Greek mythology sort of thing, and fantasy, which, I mean, that's the best kind of books in my opinion, but whatever. I really hope you guys like this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and check out the rest of our videos. I have way more reviews, book-related videos on this channel, and if you guys have read this book, let me know in the comments below. If you guys haven't read this book, let me know in the comments below. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and I will see you guys next time with another book-related video. Bye! Currently reading the third one. Whoa. I just meant it. I'm gonna cry. Okay, shut off, and I just completely knocked over the tripod. Okay. Starting over. Yep, already off to a great start. I've come too far to stop now.